Disney, yes, the famous worldwide multi-gazillion dollar corporation and cultural touchstone icon. Everything they used to touch turned to gold. Now everything turns to moldy, stinky, nasty cheese. This includes the Star Wars series, the most iconic, recognizable pop culture series in history, is now garbage. They ruined Indiana Jones. They have decimated their animated catalog. And the latest example of this is The Little Mermaid, although it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. All right, so I talked about how much Disney stinks. That's no surprise to anybody. I dump on them regularly. I reviewed Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny a couple days ago, the most disappointing movie of 2023, and that movie stinks. I'm done talking about that movie. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about The Little Mermaid. Disney has done, I think this is the 5th of these live-action animated movies that I've seen. I've seen The Jungle Book. I've seen Aladdin. I've seen Beauty and the Beast, I've seen The Lion King, and I've seen this. So there's one of those movies that's incredible. The Jungle Book is like a 10 out of 10, phenomenal masterpiece, great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a tremendous film. I love it. I adore that movie. It's a 10 out of 10. I said it's 10 out of 10 already, but it is. It's spectacular. Huge fan of that film. The Lion King is a hot mess, and Beyonce ruined the whole thing. She's a pretty good singer and a terrible voice actress. There's no going around it. That movie, none of the characters, they're all animals, but they just look like regular animals. No facial expression, no expressiveness in their looks, so it just doesn't look very good. And yeah, that movie, just a disappointment. I thought Aladdin was actually pretty okay. Beauty and the Beast, I remember nothing about. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it. Yeah. What else? I might have missed one in there, but who cares? I'm sure they're going to remake more movies of their amazing, illustrious catalog. So here's what I actually liked about the movie. I did like some things. Not a lot, but I did like some things. The original songs are classics. They're never not going to be classics. Kiss the Girl, Under the Sea, Part of Your World. These songs are great. They are timeless and great, just like the original movie. How about that? Ariel and Eric's extended courtship. You could kind of see this coming, right? There were never a lot of details regarding that in the original film, so they were always going to flesh that out, and they do that here. And at first, when they started doing it, I was like, okay, we've gotten this really bad musical number from Eric, which I will talk about, and they're going to flesh him out and his relationship with Ariel, and that stuff actually worked better than I thought it would. It worked pretty well. So yeah, I appreciated that about the movie. It had a good payoff at the end, and that was fine. The performances were pretty good, some of them. Eric and Ariel were great. They both have good chemistry. I think Halle Bailey is a really talented young actress. The reason she was cast in this movie is dumb, and I'll get to that a little bit, but she is not a problem. She's not. She deserves no ill will. She deserves no hatred. Don't go into her Instagram DMs and start talking a bunch of trash. She's great here. She really is. Phenomenal singing voice, too. They nailed that with her. David Diggs as Sebastian was also, like, surprisingly kind of great. I thought he was really good. He gives a very great performance of that particular role. Here's what I didn't like. Everything is really dark. And not just like, not thematically dark. There's some of that. But visually dark. Like director Rob Marshall, who is... I'm not going to say anything mean about the director. He's a director. He has this very, like, kind of weird issue where everything is dark when it's dark, and even when it's light, it's dark. It's hard to explain. It makes sense when you watch it. You'll know what I'm talking about. The original is very bright and energetic and engaging and visually pleasing. This movie just isn't. And it's just... those animated films are timeless and they just pop off the screen. This doesn't. It looks like a 2023 CGI mess that was made in a lab for the purpose of making a lot of money, which Disney 2023. That's what they do. It's also really, really long, and it feels kind of long. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. The original's maybe, if not a little shorter than an hour and a half. Might be actually shorter than that. But this movie is, there's no reason for this movie to be 2 hours and 15 minutes long. Even if you flesh out some additional stuff, like the Eric and Ariel stuff, you could have fleshed out in an hour and 40 minutes and been fine. Or probably an hour and 45 minutes. You could even hack 15 minutes off and make this 2 hours and call it a day, and it would be a significantly better movie as a result. The forced diversity. This was a criticism in the beginning. I don't have an issue with Halle Bailey as Ariel. I don't. She's fine. She's got a great voice, like I said. She does a good job with the role. The issue I have is pretty much everything else. Everywhere you look, it's just like a diversity casting call. It looks like they said, hey, if you're not white, we want you in this movie in every single role, except for Eric. Like everybody else. Like Javier Bardem, fine, we'll get to him. He's not great here. There's a shot in the very beginning of the movie where it's like Triton, and he's sitting in his throne room, and his daughters are all there, and Ariel's not, right? And he sends Sebastian off to go find her. And I think. And all the daughters are like a different race, meaning that Triton is either like spectacularly horny and just sleeping with all these different baby mamas, or they were just like, we just want diversity. We don't care about literally anything else. Because this is a calculated decision that you make when you make a movie. Just is. Disney did it. It's super. The issue I have isn't the characters that are in those lead roles. Like I said, Halle Bailey's tremendous. But it's the cringe obviousness of that. And it's very, very obvious. There's a scene at the very end when they're all together, and Ariel has gotten her legs again, and she saves Triton, and the Triton turns her into a human again, and like all of like the mer people are around, and it's just like, it's like a diversity postcard. It's so dumb and cringe and silly. The extra songs are also terrible, like unlistenable garbage. There's a song called Scuttlebutt. You've probably seen it on memes. It's so bad. It is so bad. And Awkwafina, who's this Asian rapper, she has this really grating voice, and she's good in Raya and the Last Dragon. She's in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. She's fine in that. She's fine in Renfield. I think I reviewed all those movies. I have. But she sucks here, and her grating voice ruins her musical number. It's called Scuttlebutt. It's like a weird, it's just, yeah, it's bad. Eric has this, like, strange, like, I am a character of yearning, who learns, who wants more, and you know, I can't be tied down, and he's like a free spirit, right? And the song he has, it's so unnoteworthy and strange, because you could practically see like the blue screen background and the voice work done in the booth afterwards. It's just so obvious what they're doing. And I actually laughed out loud at how bad it was. And then Ariel, right? She loses her voice. Ursula kind of hoodwinks her, pulls her voice away from her, puts it in this locket, which she then wears around her neck. She steals Ariel's voice. And then after that, Ariel goes to the surface, and she has to convince the prince to kiss her. But she can't know that's what she's trying to do. It's all very like plot hole repair dialogue that puts her in that situation. And she has this internal monologue, but it's all a song. So they're singing, but it's all in her head. And that song sucks, and it doesn't work either. And then Scuttlebutt I talked about. So all these songs are really just like a missed opportunity. Like if you're gonna make an original song for a movie like this, it has to stand up to the originals, and none of these come even close. And yeah, everything about Scuttle, that character, is just like grating. Even during Kiss the Girl, which is a great song, she has like one line. I think she only just like shouts out one word during that song, and it almost made it. it's one of those like just out there moments that makes you spit out whatever you're drinking because it's completely unnecessary and it basically ruins what's a really like special and touching moment between two characters. So I have a lot of criticisms of this movie, but I will say it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not good. It's not a catastrophe. It's just kind of there. And Disney has a huge problem on their hands. They really do. They need to stop immediately with all of this crap. They need to cancel all these remakes. Don't make any more of them. Be done with it. And the issue is that you can't remake what's perfect. You don't remake The Godfather. You don't remake Star Wars or Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back. You don't remake Jaws or E.T. or you don't remake the original Indiana Jones. You don't remake Saving Private Ryan. You don't take these movies that are phenomenal, perfect films and remake them because they're phenomenal and perfect. So in closing, my biggest problem with The Little Mermaid is that it exists. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, found it helpful, I hope you would consider subscribing. You can also like and share the video. That tells the powers that be that it's worth promoting. And hit me up in the comments to let me know. Am I way off base and this movie is like amazing? Let me know. See you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.